All right, guys, we're back here on Southeastern 16. Max Barr joins second time this week. We're going live here at Southeastern 16, SEC basketball talk. That's because the season is now, a week and a half away, basically, at this point.
Counting down the days, Blake. Counting down the days.
We are almost there, and so we decided we'd have some fun today with the win total projections for every single team in SEC basketball. We're going to use our friend over Mr. Kenpom, and we're going to take some of the numbers that he's put together and give you some over-under picks, perhaps, on whether a team will go over or under their win total this year. Shout out to Shane, who suggested this yesterday in the members-only video we did, our mailbag, which, by the way, if you didn't watch our mailbag, if you're not a member, we probably spent, 20 minutes in that mailbag referencing the NBA. And my goodness, what a morning the NBA's had. So, man, I don't know what was going on there, Max. We must have.
What happened to Chauncey? My guy Chauncey.
Terry Rozier, that's all kinds of madness this morning in the NBA. So, kind of an unprecedented situation here from what I can remember. But, all right, remember, we are brought to you by
Ellis's post today.
What did he say?
He's trying to link Rick Pitino back to Terry Rozier and trying to bring down Pitino.
No. Well,
it always comes back to college hoops, guys. It always, people, you want to talk about the NBA, we always find a way to twist the knobs back to the real stuff, the college hoops.
Of course. All right. Remember, we are brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel, and not a great segue there. Just talking about all this NBA stuff, but we are brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Yeah. Anyways,
you are a professional athlete watching this right now.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know what to tell you, but we are going to set a super chat goal as well. We're going to try to get us to 5 super chats today, Max. How about that? You think 5 sounds good? 5 on the super chat goal?
I think it
sounds good. All right. What are we going to give the people if we get to 5? We got to reward them with something. 5 super chats. What about a Sanders read? Should we do Sanders read? So
right now, the only thing I can think about is how the foot long at Subway used to be $5 foot long, and now it's double it.
Yeah.
We're not going to be doubling the super chat goal today. 5.
Well, we'll do 5. For some reason, the YouTube feature's not working, but we'll get back to that. All right. Still, 5 is on the mind here for all you guys. Quickly, before we get into this thing, it's already went off the rails here. Let's give you a quick word about our friends at GameTime Sidekicks, officially licensed stainless steel drinkware. Every SEC school is there, over 350 more universities as well. They got the stainless steel sippy cups, the tumblers, the 40-ounce bottles, the shaker cups. You guys should be hearing that in your sleep these days. SE16 for 20% off over there at GameTimeSidekicks.com. SE16, 20% off GameTime Sidekicks. All right, Max, we have also a pleasant surprise for our audience this morning.
What?
Ask and you shall receive. One of the most popular things we've ever done on this channel involved a certain tool that we used. And I know some of you think we're tools, but we used a certain tool. And I remember, when did we use this? We used it this summer sometime. Folks, we decided to bring it back this morning. And I've even updated it to a much better visual. Are you ready, Max? Because it's time. As we go to these win totals, the over-under, the projections, all this other stuff, are you ready to find out what we're going to do here when it comes to, hold on, let me see if I can, there we go.
There we go.
How we're going to choose which of these teams are going to go in what order in our projected win total here. That's right. I love my tools. Here it is, folks. It's back by popular demand. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Boom! It's back. The Wheel of Destiny has returned. I even updated the colors. You guys were giving us hell last time because the colors weren't right. I updated the colors for you. We're going to go, Max, in terms of the projections for every SEC team. We're going to the Wheel of Destiny here.
Yep.
And so, here we go. We're going to spin the wheel, make the deal, and it's time. Who's first? on the wheel of destiny.
Oh,
this thing.
boy.
Oh, I've missed this. I have missed this. Oh,
Vandy, Bama.
Are we going to go alphabetical order here? You think this thing's going to go in
gosh.
alphabetical order? Oh, look at that. Now that right there is something. All right, so the Crimson Tide of Alabama, Max, are the number 1 team here in terms of our projected win total. Max, if we go to KenPom, KenPom has Alabama's projected. Wait a second. Is this right?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, it is.
Hold on a second.
I know.
Wait a minute.
I had the same reaction.
Wait a minute. So I legitimately clicked on this, and I had to go back and make sure I was in the right year.
Yep.
Is this true, Max?
I know. Look at the non-conference schedule.
Okay, so that's what's happening. Okay. Well, all right. The KenPom projected win total for Alabama, 17.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But if you look at the non-conference, they play the number 3 team Purdue, 6 Illinois, 8 Gonzaga, 16 St. John's, 32 Clemson, 15 Arizona. And then, of course, you play multiple top 20, 30 teams in SEC play, which the projected SEC record is 9-9. Max, I'd like to give you my quick answer for over-under on the win totals. I'm going to go over 17 for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
This might be the easiest one on the board. Might be the easiest one on the board. 17-13, a 9-9 conference projection. Now, this is 17 wins for a team last year that won 28, lost in the Elite Eight, didn't do too much damage SEC tournament either. So you're saying they're going to drop back by 10 wins? I'm not buying it. You do have St. John's, Purdue, Illinois, Gonzaga, 4 in a row that KenPom is saying we don't think you're going to win any of those. I disagree, Blake. I think you're going to snag a few of those. Give me the over. Give me the over.
And just so we set the right course here, remember that this is a very data-driven, percentage-driven type thing. So it's not Mr. KenPom saying that Alabama's gonna lose their it's really just the data, right? It's the numbers and all that. So don't. Again, and we're talking about some of these games are projected 84, 82, 86, 83, 85, 84. We're talking a point or two either way. Like the Kentucky game, 84, 82.
Mm-hmm.
All these kind of games. There are so many 1 to 3 point games on here. Don't freak out. This is, it's a projection, it's data and all that. So we figured we'd use this as a baseline. But as we can see, this one is sort of, this one's kind of maybe extreme, I think, on that. But all right. Yes. Yeah, you're right, Brett. There are certainly, you got to take the good with the bad in terms of how you use some of the data sometimes. All right. We're going over on the Crimson Tide.
Real quick, Blake, before we move on from the Crimson Tide, how many games do they play this year against a team projected to be outside KenPom's top 150? There's 360-something teams in D1. Outside the top 150.
I mean, there's no one in the SEC that's outside the top 150. I would say, do they play anyone outside the top 150?
The first game against North Dakota. That's it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
They open up against North Dakota, and then for the rest of the entire season, you have a few games of teams right outside the top 100. And then everyone else is top 100.
Wow.
I mean, this is, that's why that.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Crimson Tide. There you go. All right. Back to the wheel we go. And Alabama has been removed from the wheel. Let's spin again.
All right.
This thing.
Are we going to go in alphabetical?
You think it will? No, not this time.
Oh.
Ooh, here's an interesting one. I like this one.
Hey.
All right, Mississippi State. I think this is a very interesting one. So let's look at because I'm looking at these for the first time too, by the way. So I'm pulling these up. That's how you got my reaction on Alabama. Mississippi State. Ooh, this is a tough one. Projected record, 19-11, 9-9 in conference play. So 19, Max, is the number. Mississippi State In the non-conference, gets number 13 Iowa State, 43 SMU. Oh, I can't wait for that one. 52 Memphis, and then you've got kind of quite a few games, let's say in the 70 to 80 type range, like Georgia Tech, Utah, Kansas State, San Francisco, and all of that. So 19 wins for Mississippi State. Remember the stat, folks, because I've forgotten it myself. Let me find it. It's there. Hold on.
Well, 8-10 is the SEC record that he's always
21 wins every single season the first 3 years at Mississippi State. Chris Chan's gotten 21. So 9-9 in conference play, which would be an improvement. But 21 versus 19 is the projected win total.
I'm gonna go under here. I'm gonna go under. I think 9 conference wins. I'm projecting a few less. Probably gonna have to do decent damage in the non-conference, which they're already projected to do. Only projected to lose that Iowa State game.
Yep.
So given that they're already projected to have a pretty successful non-conference, I'll go just under.
I'm gonna go slightly over. I don't know if they get to 21, but like 20 sounds about right to me, because I think if you take away, like you said, the only projected right now lose the Iowa State game. If you were to drop another non-conference game, I feel like Mississippi State's the kind of team that's going to upset a team or two in SEC play, and I may get them close to that number. I'm going to go very, very slightly over, but I think this number is about right on the money.
Yeah,
Mississippi State, way more so than we felt like with the Alabama one. So, and again, who knows? We could be way off with these, but that's how it goes. We're having fun here. Yeah. All right, next, back to the wheel we go. And let's see who is going to be up next. The wheel of destiny here as it spins and spins and spins. And oh boy, the Missouri Tigers are up next. All right, Missouri. Let me click on them. They are also one of those mini teams projected at 9-9 in the SEC. Yep. Missouri Max, 20 wins, 20-11, the projected record for KenPom right now. In the non-conference, they only play one game as it stands. Okay, let me take this a step further. They only play one game inside the top 70, and that is against Kansas. They only play 3 games inside the top 236. So they're going to be projected to win the majority, if potentially all of their non-conference games. Excuse me. I forgot about the Illinois one. Scratch that. Illinois is at the very end of the schedule, which is why it all ran together there. So they added another one to that number. But Illinois, the projected loss to that one. Kansas also projected loss. 20 wins. But, man, we said it. They got a really tough start to SEC play, starting with Florida, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Auburn. That's a tough 4-game stretch to get things started. But I don't want to say it eases up, but it gets a little better from there.
Yeah, last year, Missouri ends 22-12, 10-8 in conference. Only won 1 game in the SEC tournament, beats Mississippi State in game 1 of the SEC tournament, and then lost to Florida. And then, as we all remember, the frustrating Drake game, 67-57 first round of the NCAA tournament. So you get 21 regular season wins last year. Only 1 postseason win, and you still get to 22. This year projected 20. I'm going to go over, Blake.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go over too, because I think they're going to rack up quite a few wins in non-conference, I would think. Mm-hmm. And then it's just trying to get to that 20 mark after that. So, yeah, I'm going to go over too. I don't know how much more over I would go on that, but I would go over, because that's the thing, right? It's not. I think with the strength of the SEC, you don't need 25 wins anymore to necessarily be a top, whatever seed. Like, you get to 22, something. I mean, you're sitting in a really good spot, like, just based on the overall strength of the conference. So,
if there was a line set for Missouri, over under 1.5 postseason wins. So this is including SEC tournament and NCAA tournament. Last year they won 1. Of course, what would you say for 1.5 if that was the line this year? Postseason.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably go over.
So that's basically my answer here.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. I'm gonna wind up picking the over for everybody. You know me. I'm Mr. Optimism. I'm gonna pick everybody to go over. It's a sad state of affairs, but it's just what I do. I like to be optimistic.
What else did you expect?
All right, back to the wheel we go for the next one here. Let's see who's gonna pop up on this one, and who's it gonna be? Ole Miss, the Rebels.
I forgot to pull up the wheel. You botched the wheel on that one, Blake. I'm sorry.
Oh, we didn't get the wheel? Oh,
No.
I'm sorry. Well,
that was actually me, I think.
Okay. Well, Ole Miss is the winner of the wheel.
Darn
on this one. Let's go to the Rebels. I assume they're another one of those teams. Yep. Also 9-9.
Rigged. We couldn't see the wheel.
KenPom. Yeah, I know. It's a real shame. That's we got
take one for the team there, boys.
The Rebels here. All right, here's another team, 19-11, Max. The projected record 9-9 in the SEC. If we look at the non-conference, they're going to play St. John's on the road. They got NC State. They got Iowa, Miami, Memphis. Then you got a handful or so of games, teams in that 240 and above type range. SEC play, they're going to play. They only play Florida once. They only play Kentucky once. They only play Tennessee once. Okay. They only play Arkansas once too. So that's an interesting. Those are going to be important when you're projecting these numbers. So 19 wins for the Rebels.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go kind of how you did with Mississippi State. Like, I feel a lot better about 20 or 21 for Ole Miss, because you got to think last year you get to 24 wins and you add 3 postseason wins to that. You get an SEC tournament win over Arkansas and then the Sweet 16 run. That gets you to 24 after winning 21 regular season games. So they won 21 regular season games last year and you're projected 19 this year. I don't think this team is 2 games worse than last year's roster. I'll go slightly over on Ole Miss here.
It's worth noting, KenPom has them only losing 1 non-conference game, and that's the one at St. John's. Now, you've got a couple close ones in there. Iowa, 3 points. You've got NC State, 1 point. So, again, you're talking about a couple of those swing games, which is not surprising. But, they get Memphis at home. And also worth noting, has them starting 3-0 in SEC play. At Oklahoma, home against Arkansas, home against Missouri, which those are tough games, but certainly within the realm of possibility. I'm with you. I'm going to go over here on this one too. It's going to be a theme. I'm going to go over on Ole Miss, and it may not be by a ton, but I feel pretty good about them probably hitting that 21 mark.
Also understand that these are just projecting regular season wins, right?
Correct. Yes, this is just projection for regular season. Because again, KenPom can't project games that aren't on the schedule. Right. So we're just projecting the 30-game regular season or whatever it winds up being. So that's what we're doing. And 2,
did you notice anything new about the Ole Miss graphic up there? Maybe someone slid into the starting lineup recently that wasn't on there all summer?
A little Travis Perry in there, huh?
Oh, come on.
Little baby blue. No, something else to keep in mind, though. Remember, folks, we're giving you the projected record. Again, there are games that are not on there. So tournament games and all this other stuff, we can't give you those in there. So, I think that's why for me, does Ole Miss play in, a tournament? Look, sorry, some of these we just have to look up on the fly.
It is so hard to keep track of
it's hard to keep track of these.
All the different tournaments nowadays.
Let's see. So they've got so they have the Palm Springs thing where they play Iowa, then they're going to play Utah Grand Canyon.
That's what it is.
So it's so I think I am Mr. Optimist, but I can also go over knowing that there are multiple games still that aren't even on the schedule, and so I can feel pretty good about hitting that extra number on some of these. So, all right. Wicked Brew had to chime in on the domination of Houston in the close scrimmage. We did talk about that, Wicked Brew. We've done another show this week as well. Go back, get some thoughts on that one that we did mention on Tuesday.
Remember our Ole Miss, like the relationship we had with Ole Miss over the course of the season last year? We were like, Sweet 16 team, Sweet 16 team. They're going to Sweet 16. I don't care what happens. And then
every
they lost
gut bracket.
They lost a few games. We were like, oh, maybe we're not going to do the Sweet 16. And then they made it to the Sweet 16. We're like,
I know. We jumped off the bandwagon too early with Ole Miss.
Back on it.
We're back on. All right. The wheel, Max. We need the wheel for the people not to think this is some kind of
there we go
scheme here. All right. Back to the wheel we go. Who's next? The wheel. Destiny. It all comes together.
Yes.
For the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Ooh.
Here we go. Justin jumped in at just the right time.
Yep, he knew.
Yes. The Commodores, Max. Now, something to keep in mind here. We've been real high on the Commodores. Mr. Kenpom may be higher than us on the Commodores, based on where he has them projected currently. But it's not going to necessarily, and this is what we mean. They are the projected 19 team in Kenpom, 4th in the SEC. Their win total projection, 19. So, like, you see what I mean here? Like, all these teams are so closely grouped together. Not a lot that separates them. Now, if we look at the schedules too, and I'm going to start doing this because I think I can better justify my picks a little bit on my optimistic choices. So Vanderbilt is in the what is it? Man, all these pop-ups, Max, when you go to it's just out of control.
It is.
They're in the battle for Atlantis. So remember that. They're going to play 3 games there no matter what. So we can't project that. Western Kentucky's their first game. But there are other games on the schedule, UCF, SMU, at Memphis, at Wake Forest. That's their, folks, here you go. Kenpom does not have the Vanderbilt basketball Commodores losing a game until January the 14th. Max, over under 19.
Well, if you look at last year, they only lost one. They went into conference play 12-1 last year, and then went 8-10 in conference play. So this year, if last year you're entering conference play 12-1, this year I'm expecting 12-1 or 13-0, and then it just comes down to the question of, okay, do you think that if they're going to have a similar non-conference record entering SEC play than last year, then this question is just as simple as, all right, are they going to have a better conference record than they did last year? I'll say yes. I think they will.
All right.
Over.
It's probably going to surprise you here, but I'm going to go over on the Vanderbilt Commodores. So,
it might not be by much. I'm not expecting like a 12-6 conference record. They're like, that's going to be one of the top in the league. But I don't know, 8-10 last year. Maybe you go 10-8 this year. I think then that hits the over there.
Yeah, I feel like and I know someone just put it in the comments, but it's like, I think range is probably the easiest way to do these. Like, what is kind of your range? Because some of these numbers do feel like they're very. And we mentioned Vanderbilt's got a tough SEC schedule.
They do.
Like, it's a tough SEC schedule. So that's why I brought up if they win their first however many games that is until January 14th at Texas. And honestly, like, if we look right now, Max, they're probably going to be a favorite in all those games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe not at home against Alabama, which Kenpom has Vanderbilt winning, but legitimately they could be the favorite in every game they play until Texas, possibly. So depends on how the season goes, of course. If you lose at UCF on November 8th, that changes.
I think 19 is good for Vandy though, regular season. Like if the line was 19.5, 20.5, it'd be hard to confidently pick one way or the other.
Yeah. I'm gonna go over 2. Maybe not by a lot, but over on that. So, all right. No, look, Nick. No one has an easy SEC schedule, but some teams have harder SEC schedules than others. Period.
Yeah.
Like if you're a team that's playing Kentucky twice, Tennessee twice, Florida twice, like all that, like Arkansas, like you got a real tough schedule, just based on the initial projection. So, all right.
Like compare Florida's road schedule to Kentucky's road schedule.
Yeah.
Those are not the same.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. A couple more chats here. I know SC Scout guy said I was doing my best Vanna Whites. Please, let's not compare my looks to Vanna's looks here. How you doing? Stay off the Ole Miss bandwagon for us. Yeah, we are almost to that season, folks, where you start telling us to pick against your team because that's how you win. We're almost there. Like we're not that far. So, and we did mention all the NBA stuff going on. SC Scout guy, we mentioned that earlier. So,
what a mess.
What a mess they got going on there. All right, here we go. We're gonna keep rolling through these. Then we're gonna tell you about some friends of the channel here in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Who's next? Oh, now this could be an interesting
Tigers.
one. All right. The Tigers of LSU, who I think not long ago I had in the NCAA tournament as a bowl prediction. Let's see if I stick with that here. Ooh. All right. LSU projected record 17-13, 7-11 in the SEC. Non-conference, they play Texas Tech. This is where, again, I need to find the schedule because I'm going to assume there is a do they play in any tournaments? I'm not sure. I'll find it in a second. They play Texas Tech, SMU. Those are the only two games they're projected to lose in non-conference. All their other games come against basically top 100 or lower teams. Max, LSU.
Yeah, so last year LSU gets to 14 wins, and really nothing SEC tournament lose to Mississippi State first game. You only got 3 conference wins last year, so projecting 7 conference wins, big jump. I'm gonna go just under here. I think 17 regular season wins. You're gonna have to beat Drake, Boston College, and not slip up against anyone. Probably drop those two Texas Tech and SMU. So you go into conference play with only 2 losses. But you've got that January. I mean, they might not. After the first week of January, you're looking at a series of Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Missouri, Florida, Arkansas. I mean, you could drop all those in a row easily. I'm going to go slightly under.
They play either Georgia Tech or DePaul in the Emerald Coast Classic after they play Drake. So that's currently on the schedule for them. Oh, man. I kind of want to go push here, but I'm not going to go push. I'm going to go slightly under too. Because like you said, you are banking on what seems like several close games in the non-conference going your way.
Yeah.
And then if you look at their conference schedule, they are one of those teams that does not get Kentucky, Florida, Arkansas twice, or Tennessee twice. They do. They play Arkansas twice, but they only play Kentucky, Florida, Tennessee once.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wouldn't go much more under here, but I think 17 is about right to me. But since I have to pick one and I picked everybody else to go over, I guess I'll go slightly under here for the Tigers. All right. We'll do one more, and then we'll get to a special word from our friend Hurt Life Rick. If you're out there, I'm doing this for you, okay? I'm picking the under because we all know it's going to work out now, just as you need it to. All right, spin the wheel. It's going to be
Georgia Cats?
The Cats.
The
Kentucky Wildcats are up next. You're about to see the chat run wild here as we get to Kentucky. And Kentucky's, boy, now this is something right here. 24-7, the projected record for Kentucky. 13-5 in the SEC. They have a 0.01% chance of an unbeaten record. They're also worth noting they have a 0.00% chance of going winless, Max. So those are your two extremes. Of course, non-conference, we've talked a lot about it for Kentucky. Here is your lineup. At Louisville, Michigan State, neutral court. North Carolina, Gonzaga in Nashville. Indiana at home. St. John's on a neutral court. Wow. And in SEC play, they are going to play Florida twice. They'll play Tennessee twice. And I think of the projected top teams, Vanderbilt, top 20 projected team, they'll play them twice. And so, yeah, that's the Kentucky schedule. And, yeah, there you go, Max. Cats.
Are you looking at their KenPom page right now or no?
I am. Why? I mean, ask me a question because I'm probably not looking at whatever you're thinking of.
I was going to say, how many they play at Louisville, Michigan State neutral, North Carolina, Zags, Indiana, St. John's. How many of those non-conference games do you think they're projected to lose?
Are they projected to lose any of them?
No, that was my point.
None?
None. KenPom has Kentucky going to Louisville, winning by 1. They've got them beating Michigan State by 5, beating North Carolina by 9, Zags by 4 on a neutral, St. John's by 4 on a neutral, Indiana by 10 at home. KenPom's projecting Kentucky to enter SEC play undefeated, and I just don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to go. I'm going under 24. Man. I think 24 in the regular season. Ooh, 24 regular season wins is really, really impressive. And with the injuries already entering the season, I'm going to go under here.
So, yeah, I don't think they're going winless in the non-conference. I'm just going to be honest with you. That would be a very tough task, especially given the injury situation we talked about right now. And so without knowing the timeline for both of those guys, which we'd expect Lowe is going to return sooner than JQ, right?
That's why I don't have an injury thing next to Lowe, because I'm assuming he's going to be back in a few weeks like we've been told.
Yeah. Yeah, I just that would be a tough thing. But then again, you look at their their SEC schedule; it's brutal. So, man, I can't believe he's got them. But see, that's where remember, just what KenPom has on the projected result doesn't always equal out to the projected record.
Right.
So if you guys are looking at it, keep that in mind. Because right now, if you just went by projected result, Kentucky would lose 2 games this season. But a lot of those are, again, some of those close games. I'm going to go 25. So I'm going to go slightly over.
Oh, really?
Doing my math here. Yeah. I still think they're going to win. Like, again, I don't know they're going to win all the non-conference games, but I still think they're good enough to win the majority of those. Because Louisville is the only true away game of that group.
Right.
And then I look at they've got some tough conference games, though. Holy cow. On the road.
Let me phrase it this way. So between the top non-conference games, let's do their projected against their top 50 games. So you have Louisville, Michigan State, North Carolina, Gonzaga, Indiana, and St. John's. Those 6 for sure non-conference games, those are all going to be tough. Louisville, Michigan State, North Carolina, Gonzaga, Indiana, St. John's. Out of those 6, what do you thinking their record's going to be? Like a 4-2, a 3-3, a 5-1?
I mean, look, I started by saying I think they beat Michigan State, North Carolina, and Indiana.
So then you got Louisville, Gonzaga, and St. John's, all away from home. Say they drop 2.
I think they're better than the Zags. Yeah.
Say out of all
Louisville,
those,
St. John's are tough. They're tough games.
Out of those 6 games, let's say they lose 2.
Okay.
So now you can only afford to beat this projection. You can only afford 5 conference losses,
which I think is okay.
That's where it would come down to.
Yeah. All right. I'm not gonna. And again, this is another one I think is probably right on the money. Because Kentucky's a team that doesn't play any tournaments, right? They're just playing these high-profile games. So like, there's no more games to be added here. So, yeah, man. But their road schedule. Listen, if they go under, they could still be a really good team. But don't be surprised if they go under just because their SEC road schedule is tough. Like, it's probably the toughest of any team in the SEC, I would think, when you look at it based on where teams are slotted right now on KenPom. So, it's brutal. Yeah, I think it's about – I think 24 is probably a great choice.
Yeah.
But I'll say maybe JQ's back and they hit another gear in conference play and are able to win some of those games on the road against really tough opponents. So, all right. Let's do a quick timeouts here. and tell you about our friends at the Yearly Company. If all this win total stuff gets you heated up about jewelry, well, I don't know how you got there, but hey, we'll take it. Because the Yearly Company, a Nashville-based fine jewelry brand built on tradition. If you're a Kentucky fan, you're coming down to Nashville for the Zags, come on. Go buy some jewelry at the Yearly Company. Each piece handcrafted from solid 14-karat gold, natural gemstones, made to measure for a perfect fit, backed by a lifetime guarantee. Every Yearly Company bangle, custom sized, knowing your size, the most important step before ordering. That's where the sizing kit comes in. Remember, you can get it for free, 100% off at the checkout. Code SC16KIT. SC16KIT. Perfect place to start for husbands trying to shop before the holidays. All that good stuff. SC16KIT. 100% off the sizing kit. It's free over at the Yearly Company. ROKFORM. ROKFORM.com. The world's strongest magnetic phone case. Extreme protection. Super strong magnets. Rock, lock, secure mounting. SEC25 for 25% off over there if you got your new iPhone. All that good stuff. Get your cases, your accessories. It's all at ROKFORM. SEC25. 25% off. And then HOVI Dry Goods, your new favorite hat outside of these great hats that Max Barr and I are wearing from the Southeastern 16 store. These are the best hats on the market. HOVI Dry Goods. Look no further than the HOVI hats. High quality headwear. Great fit. Unique designs. Bad beat for 15% off. Bad beat. We're going to have some bad beats, I guarantee you, on these over-under win totals. Because we're going to look back at these and be like, oh, no, one. We were off by one on some of these. So there you go. All right. Next up here, let's see what some of the comments were. Alan's going to go with a draw on Kentucky. I think I think we're close.
It's a good line, 24.
No, look, you're right. Listen, Kentucky's going to have the best resume in the country if they get to that number with that schedule. There's no doubt. So Sean's going to say 13-5 in SEC play would be a remarkable job by Pope. I mean, remember, we are talking about the team who was picked second in the SEC. So, 13-5, I think, is a very reasonable record prediction for a team that was picked second. So, I think that's there. Donovan, we'll look at Auburn's schedule in a minute once we get to it. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. Let's get back to the wheel. Here we go. The wheel of destiny. She spins and spins and spins.
Yep.
And who's it going to be? Oh,
my
Vols.
gosh.
Tennessee slides right on in there in the next spot. Let's get to the Tennessee Vols, who projected number 9 team on KenPom. The Vols, Max 21-9. 11-7 is the projected record there on that. Non-conference, this is where, again, I'm going to pull up the schedule because I have a feeling that we don't have the full picture of the non-conference schedule. I'm surprised Sam Smith is not here to correct me on this, but if you look at Tennessee's non-conference, they're in the players era. I keep forgetting that. They're going to play one extra game outside of the ones that are already listed, but of course they're going to play Houston there. They've got Illinois. They've got Louisville. Syracuse on the road, but they do have the one extra game with the players in Vegas on Thanksgiving or whatever. So that could be a tough game. You would think it's probably one that's going to, be a little bit challenging. And then if you look at their SEC schedule, I think they're another one. They've got road games at Arkansas, Florida, Alabama, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Missouri. So, again, not an easy schedule by any means for sure. 21 wins for Tennessee, Max.
They have hit this line in all the last 4 years. You've got to go back to the 2021 year, the Keon Johnson, John Fulkerson senior year, to where Tennessee did not reach this benchmark in the regular season. Past 4 years, they've gone 23, 22, 23, I think, and then 24 and then 25 last year. So if they do go under this line, it would be the worst regular season since 2021 for Tennessee. I'm gonna go over. I don't think this is going to be the worst regular season in the last 5 years. I like this front court. Nate Ament's growing on us, Blake. Slightly over here. It's going to be tough to get up to 25 like last year, but maybe somewhere in between 25 and 20, I think they'll end up.
Over for the Vols for me. Again, I'm not saying they're going to sweep the non-conference, but I think with Jacoby Gillespie leading the way, you've got an older guy. And look, the first 6 SEC games Tennessee's going to play are all against top 39 projected teams. 2 of those at home against 35 A&M, 39 Texas. Then you've got at Arkansas, at Florida, home against Kentucky, at Alabama. It's a tough start to their schedule. But if you look at the back half of their schedule, I think there's a little bit more room for maneuvering, picking up a lot of wins down the stretch potentially. So bookmark that. I think in terms of looking at the start of their schedule, which they should get off to a really good start, and then I think they got a chance to really make up a lot of ground at the end of their schedule. Should they hit a few bumps in the road in the middle. 21 it seems a little bit, Donovan says, it seems a little low to me. I think that's just a little bit too low for Tennessee. But we said, I mean, could this be a team that has a little bit more of that potential range of possibilities this year? Probably. But I think 21 does feel like it's a little bit low for me. On
one little tiny nugget that may put a wrinkle into this projection is one guaranteed, not guaranteed, but the analytics are going to all project a loss is that late November game against Houston. If that exhibition has anything to take away from it at all, if Houston is going to take a little bit longer to get these freshmen up to speed, they lost a ton from last year. So if Houston isn't the number 1 overall, like they're currently projected, if Houston's more like maybe in November, they're more like 10th, it's going to take them a little bit to get the freshmen going. Then that game turns from, okay, well, hey, Tennessee might win this neutral floor against Houston, rather than right now on the computers, it looks like Houston is, going to be favored by a few baskets. So that might change a little thing too.
Yep. All right. Back to the wheel we go for the next team up. Well, yeah, and two, I mean, absolutely. Wildcat Mania, everyone forgets about injuries. Yeah, I mean, we can't. That's the thing, right? We're honestly probably doing best case scenario here, and that's why these are absurd. Let's call it what it is. If we go back, is Ken Palm going to hit the projected win total for every team? No, of course not. But these are things you just can't factor in, but will obviously play a big role in the season for multiple teams, and especially like we said, especially for a team like Kentucky who, has a star player that we just simply do not have any idea when this guy is going to actually play. And so he could be worth 3 to 4 wins, that aren't even, so it's just that's going to be the case for a lot of teams. So once you get injuries factoring in. All right, back to the wheel.
Back to the wheel.
And who's next?
Oh, we're starting to get down here.
By the way, how did Arkansas get blue here?
I know.
Changed that to the red.
How
did they get blue? I didn't do anything. Arkansas was red when I had this set up earlier. How did they get to blue here?
Oh, my gosh.
I think the wheel knows who. We have 2 very combative fan bases when it comes to.
Yes.
And I think they know what they're doing here. All right. Yes. The wrong color aside, let's get to the Hogs here. Come on. Are you kidding me here? Are you kidding me with this Arkansas win total?
Yeah.
19-12, 9-9 in the SEC. Max, I'm not even going through the schedule. Give me the over for the Arkansas Razorbacks. But before I go too far with that, at Michigan State, they've got the Thanksgiving game against Duke. They got Louisville, Texas Tech, Houston. What a non-con for the Razorbacks and John Calipari. But they got a tough SEC schedule too. So maybe Ken Palm's not too far off, but I got to go over 19 for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, this is a slightly old graphic, by the way. I've moved Sealy up into the backup 3 after we did our conversation with Mr. JC Hoops. So
yeah,
apologize for that. But yeah, if you look at last year, we know how rough that was. You get to 19 regular season wins there. Telling me we're not going to get to it's going to be a worse regular season this year? No way. Give me the over pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, and that's where, if you look up the way their schedule flows a bit. Let me pull up the full one here so we make sure we're not missing anything on their schedule. But yeah, I mean, they're another one where it's they don't play any extra games. This is their schedule. The Houston game is in Newark. Texas Tech games in Dallas. They get Louisville at home. Chicago's the setting for the Duke game. A lot of Hog fans there. Like, I tell you, that November 8th game at Michigan State, to me, like, I mean, it's a tough atmosphere, but I'm curious to see where that line's at for that game, because I don't know. But remember too, I brought up the stat with Arkansas. We can say all that we want about how, there have been times where it feels like, all right, Arkansas slided in the preseason or whatever. But the numbers tell us that this team has not won more than 8 conference games since 2022. And these are teams that got to the Sweet 16 multiple times during those seasons. 8-10 Sweet 16 in 2023, 8-10 Sweet 16 last year. So, that's SEC record, and they ultimately finished with 22 wins in both of those seasons, but that took quite a few postseason wins to get them there, right? So, yeah. But I think this is probably one of the easier ones to pick over on, just because of the projections.
Yeah, I think if the line's 19, I think if the line was 21, we'd be like, that seems pretty. What are they going to end with, 22 or 23? I think a line of 21 would be a little bit more accurate.
Finished with 19 last year, for what it's worth. 19 regular season wins. Yeah.
It's basically like, do you think they're going to have a better regular season this year? I think so.
Yep. All right. On to the next, and hopefully the colors stick right on these next ones. I don't know what happened.
Changes again on us.
All right. I'll wait for Max to pull it up.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay. All right. Who's next on the wheel? Oh boy, Donovan's here, and he's ready for the Auburn Tigers. There we go. Auburn Tigers. Yeah. Let's see. Auburn.
This one's interesting.
I haven't looked. Oh, wow. I just realized where they were at.
This one is interesting.
All right. Here's another one. Auburn, 17-13 projected record, 9-9 in SEC play. Auburn's non-conference will include Houston, Oregon, Michigan, NC State, Arizona, Purdue. Oh, my. Plus, do they have any added games in there?
I'm not exactly sure what to do with Elijah Freeman on the graphic, ladies and gents. I don't know if I should put him at the starting 4 instead of Jovic, or I don't know exactly how they're going to shake things out now with Murphy and the knee. So apologies if this graphic is not to your liking. It's not to mine either.
They do have one added game, by the way. That's going to be played. That'll be played in the players thing too. So,
yeah, when I looked at this one, it was like, oh man. I mean, you're projecting 17 regular season wins for a team that won 27 last year and lost the last 2 games of the regular season. Could have been had the opportunity at 29. And now you're going to 17. I am admittedly a little bit down on Auburn overall, but I think that's a little disrespectful, Blake. I'm going to go over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over too. But man, that non-conference schedule is very, very difficult. Because again, like that extra players era game is probably against a top 40 team at worst, I would think.
It's just projecting a difference in 10 regular season wins. You're going to win 10 less regular season games.
I know, Max,
11 but less if you're
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, okay? I'm going over too, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. It's a completely new team and a new coach, and they got basically one player from that team last year. And so I don't know. I can see why, right? Because and again, we don't know Ken Pomp's formula and all this stuff. But it's like, if you take everything that he had in there for this team last year and you reset it, basically, like, it's interesting. And I think, look, it's that non-conference schedule. Like, it's brutal. If they get through there and win all those games, then they're going to be the number one team in the country again, heading into SEC play. So in their SEC schedule, I mean, they go to Missouri, Ole Miss, Florida, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Alabama. They get, again, double games against Alabama. They get 2 against Arkansas. Who else is in there? 2 against Ole Miss. So it's a brutal schedule. I'm going to go over, but I think it's understandable why Ken Palm may be a little lower.
If it goes under, you're gonna have a lot of Auburn fans not very happy with Stephen Pearl going from a 27-win regular season to, if this goes under, 15. I mean, that's quite the difference in one season.
I'll tell you who's not worried about it. That's that man sitting there right in the middle. That's about as cool and confident Keyshawn Hall as it's going to. I mean, come on. All right. Next. Back to the wheel. Max said, I'm out of here. I'm done with this damn wheel. I'm out of here. Okay. Next up. We're actually not as far behind as I thought we'd be at the 53-minute mark. Okay. The Longhorns.
Longhorns.
All right. Let's look at Texas here. Texas, Ken Palm, projected 17-12, 8-10 in the SEC, 39 as it stands right now in Ken Palm's preseason ratings. Of course, they started the season against Duke. They're going to get UConn on the road in December. And let's just quickly pull this up because I think this could actually play a role in how we do our projected numbers here for Texas. So they are going to play in they're in Maui. That's right. So Maui, they got Arizona State to start. They'll play Washington State or Chaminade after that, and then they could be in the championship game, following that. So SEC schedule for Texas, they are, 2 of their first 3 games at Tennessee, at Alabama. They also have to go to Kentucky. They go to Auburn. They go to Oklahoma, Missouri, Georgia, A&M, Arkansas. So there you go. Texas, 17.
This one is tough. They won 17 regular season games last year, projected at 17 regular season games this year. Only lost 2 non-conference games last year, but if you remember, the storyline with Texas was they have beat literally nobody because their non-conference was against a bunch of teams that are like sub 300, sub 200, and then they lost to the only top 50 teams they played in Ohio State and UConn, and then you go 6-12 in SEC play. So this year, it's going to be a little bit tougher to enter SEC play with only 2 losses because you get Duke and UConn, the 2 games you're supposed to lose, but then you also get a Virginia and Arizona State game. Last year, they didn't have those, like a 2 extra kind of top 100, single-digit spread games. So I think their non-conference is a little bit tougher, but not by much than last year. But then just like Wicked Bruce said, the Sean Miller effect. I think this is an upgrade in coaching. I think this is an upgrade in team fit. Like last year, it was just, can we get the ball to Kaluma or Trey Johnson and hope they go make a play? I like how this team was put together. Man, maybe over by like a game. I think it's a pretty good line.
So Sean Miller was a head coach starting back in 2005. That first season at Xavier, his final record was 17-12. Do you want to guess how many seasons since then he's gone under 17 wins?
Oh, boy. Probably not many.
Once. That was his second season at Xavier a couple years ago. They went 16-18. Every other season, he's hit at least 17. Excuse me, they did go 16-15 in Arizona in 2010. So that's 2.
Still.
But that's it. That's a long time. But
probably go over by a few games. Probably like 8. I'd like 18 or 19 better.
I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going push.
Okay. That's a good line.
I think this is a good number based on I think they got some tough non-conference games, especially the Duke, UConn ones. But I'll tell you what worries me a little bit about Texas. I don't think they're as deep as many other teams in the SEC. And I feel like they are one of those teams where I wonder a little bit how that plays out. And maybe I'm wrong. Like, maybe they do wind up having the depth. But, like, I don't know. I really like their core rotation. But
they're definitely going to have some nights where Tremont Mark is 1 of 3 from 3. Weaver hasn't hit one. Swain hasn't hit one. And Pope's maybe like, 2 of 7 or something like that. And the threes just aren't falling. They're definitely going to have a bunch of those games, just kind of how the team's built.
Yeah, this one seems right on the money for me. I would probably go over, but I've gone over on everybody else. So I'm like, I'll go push maybe on Texas. I still think it gets them in the tournament. But I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Next, back to the wheel we go as we get to, we got 5 left.
We're getting there.
We're close.
What do we got? Gators?
Gator. Here we go. Now we're talking, because this is an interesting one. When you talk about the team that is currently projected as the number 2 team in KenPom, the defending national champions projected to win the SEC, and yet their number is at 23. Projected record 23-7 for Florida. If you go by the projected results, only has them losing 2 games. That's the Duke and UConn, both by a single point. Kentucky. I didn't realize you said that yesterday, 2 days ago. They are projected to lose that game in Kentucky as well at the end of the season. All these W's run together, so I didn't even see this L at the bottom here. 3 games projected on that. Max, you want my result here? Over.
Yeah, this is probably, we got asked a few minutes ago, would we be confident enough to put money on these predictions? Right here is my confident pick. Florida over. Last year, 27 regular season wins, lost 4 SEC games, went undefeated in the non-conference, lost 4 SEC games, lost that tight one at Georgia. Always seems to get Florida. This year, non-conference a little bit tougher. You do have the higher games against Arizona, Duke, and UConn, but then you don't really have a ton of, in between. Maybe Miami or Florida State will be a top 100 team, but got a few games in the non-conference where you should cruise. But I don't think this team is 5 regular season games worse than last year, even though they might play a little bit of a tougher non-conference. Pretty confident this is over.
Maybe over for the Lakers, Raptors, Hornets, and Trailblazers too, Max. We may have a lot of new faces on college basketball. They may shut the NBA down.
Let's do it.
I haven't seen any of the updates, but we're going to get to them as soon as we finish this up. I'm going over on Florida. Like I said, and the only other added game they're going to have would be Providence or Wisconsin in San Diego after they play TCU. So that's the only added game they would have on their schedule. I'm over on the Gators here. I just think that, like you said, you brought up the stats, a little bit of a tougher non-con for sure, but I think their SEC schedule sets up nicely. So, I'm going to go with Florida.
Yeah, I forget who it was that like put together this. It was, I don't know what even to call it, but it was kind of like the top half of the SEC last year. And then how many teams of the top half last year do you play on the road this year? Basically, just someone was trying to figure out like who's got one of the harder non-conference or road conference schedules. And Florida plays like only 2 of the top from last year. I think they get Missouri on the road and Kentucky on the road. I think that's it. All their other road games against bottom half teams, Texas, Ole Miss, Georgia, maybe A&M was one of them. But like you look into Florida's road schedule compared to some others, and it's just not as hard.
No. All right, let's wrap up here, and then we'll get back to the comments. So I got some from you guys that you've weighed in on a few things. We'll get to it in just a second. There's some pretty good comments here. All right, let's finish up the wheel here. We've got how many teams left? Final 4? Down to the Final 4.
All right.
Here we go.
This is your SEC tournament Final 4 right here.
Are these the teams that were picked in the bottom 4 in the SEC minus LSU? So bottom 5 maybe. South Carolina is up next. The Gamecocks.
Gamecocks.
On this one, here we go. The South Carolina Gamecocks, as you know, picked at the bottom of the SEC. They're low in KenPom at 86. That's a big gap between number 15, which is Oklahoma, at 58 in KenPom. All right, Max, South Carolina 14-17 is the projected record, 4-14 in the SEC. If you look at their non-conference, I'll pull up their full schedule in a second. But as it stands right now, at Clemson's their toughest non-conference game. Clemson's number 32. That's a December 16th game. They also play Butler, Northwestern, Va-Tech, and then they play a lot of games against 300 or so type teams, 250 and above. They have one in there against Radford, who's 143. Their SEC schedule, road games against Arkansas, Auburn, A&M, Texas, Alabama, Florida. Holy cow. At Georgia, at Ole Miss. They play Florida twice. They play, who else are the top teams twice? Well, of the top teams, yeah, they don't play the others twice. But that's your setup for South Carolina. I'll find their full schedule here for added games.
Yeah, I think this is pretty accurate. If you look at 2 years ago, that was the great year. They won 25 regular season games. Fast forward to last year, you only win 12 regular season games. So it was a big drop off. And I think we're closer to the 12 than we are the 25 for this roster. I think this might be my push here. You used a push. I think this might be my push here.
Yeah.
I think this might be my push. I think 14 is pretty accurate.
Oh man. I think KenPom's I think it's a little bit low here in terms of this 86 starting point. I'm going to go over.
Okay.
Like, I'm not going over to the 25 level, but I mean, listen, if they got to 15, 16, 17, I wouldn't be stunned. They've got a tough SEC schedule. And, like, I mean, again, I say that for everybody, but, like, when you look at the road games, that's where it's like, can you make up some ground on the road? Maybe not, but, like, if you look at their home schedule, you know, their first 3 home games in SEC play, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Oklahoma. Now, am I saying they're going to win all those games? No. But I don't know that they're, I don't know that they're double-digit underdogs or anything in those games. So, you can find enough wins, and I think, again, you look at the non-conference, they're going to be favorites in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At worst, they're going to be favorites in 9 non-conference games.
Mm-hmm.
So, really, all you're saying is, can you rise up a few spots higher than Butler or Virginia Tech, teams like that? I mean, those, maybe. So, yeah, I don't know how much more over I would go. It's hard because everybody's got to lose games somewhere.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it went a little bit over 14.
I think if it went under, if it goes under, we're not in a great place.
No, if it goes under, like, it could go under, meaning, like, it could, like, 14 maybe 11, maybe 12, like, it may be a rough season, but I'll be optimistic. I've been a little more optimistic on South Carolina as of late, so I'll keep them over there. And I know people are still saying I'm picking the over on everybody, but unfortunately, folks, we're down to the final 3, and I don't want to tip my hat here, but my pessimism may come out a little bit. So I haven't looked at the numbers for these 3, but listen, these 3 teams they've been tough for me to gauge this offseason. All right, the Aggies. I've been high on them. You know it. Like, I've talked myself up with Texas A&M. But Max, their projected record is 20-11. 20.
That's a good amount of wins.
9-9 in conference play for Buckyball's first season. According to the projected result, they are not projected to lose a basketball game in KenPom until January the 6th.
Yeah. This graphic might be slightly wrong. I've been reading a lot about Dominguez being a sharpshooter for A&M. If you're looking back on this, probably bumped Dominguez into that second line somewhere. 20 wins though is a lot of wins. I think it's going to be exactly what Nathan says. Fun, exciting, up and down. When you look at their adjusted tempo, it's going to be towards the top. But I think maybe over next year for A&M. I would go under this year. That's a tall ask, going 21, 22 regular season wins in year one, putting together a roster from scratch. Man, you're asking a lot of Bucky in year one. I'm going to go slightly under.
I really like this group. I said I've gone from having no idea what they were going to be, really like the group. I'm looking for added games here. I don't see it on the schedule as it stands right now. It may be on there, but I've got to go probably under 2. I think that's a lot of wins. Look, Donovan's like their non-conference schedule is easy. I mean, you say that, Donovan, but here's the thing. There's a lot of games in there against, again, Oklahoma State on the road, UCF, Florida State, Pitt, SMU. These are all, if you're doing, projected type spreads, these are all pretty, I don't know, Max. We're saying, some of these will be 1 or 2. Some of these may be 4 or 5.
Right.
So, it's like we said, if the SEC is going to perform like it did last year, you need everything to hit. And you need to, the law of averages to be in your favor again. And I just think, it may be, they may just lose a couple of these games that are close because they're still trying to gel and figure it out. But yes, they could rack up a very impressive. Could they be this year's Texas A&M, or could they be this year's Oklahoma? Maybe.
I was just going to say that.
They could be. They could be this year's Oklahoma, where they just run through their non-conference and we look up and we're like, wait a minute. They've got one non-conference win that actually is going to improve their resume. You know what I mean? And maybe that's it. Although I don't remember who all Oklahoma had last year. They had a few more than that. But it's possible. So, I don't know.
Basically, the answer to this question is going to be answered in the first week of December when Texas A&M plays at Pitt and then a neutral against SMU. Both of those spreads are projected to be under 1 basket. It's going to be a 1 or 2 point spread. First week of December will answer this question.
Yep. We'll see. But yes, the path to get to 20 is there. Absolutely.
It is.
Based on their non-conference schedule. It absolutely is. So, there you go. All right. We're down to the final 2.
Oh.
Here we go.
All right.
The Dogs or the Sooners? It will be the Sooners, and then we'll get to the Dogs after that.
All right.
Do we need to really spend a lot of time here, Max, on your Oklahoma Sooners? Because let's call it what it is. They're picked second to last in the SEC in KenPom. They're 58. Their projected record is 16-15, 7-11 in the SEC. Do we even need to spend time on this one? We know where you're headed with this one.
Well, way to really draw up the suspense there, Blake.
No one had any come on. No one had any doubt in their minds that you're going over on Oklahoma.
Well, you never know. How about smash over?
Is this one of your rock locks of the week?
This is a rock lock. This is more than Florida. This is April rent. This is May rent.
Oh, no, not again. Oh, no.
Oklahoma. Just the disrespect. 16 wins. They won 20 last year with that ragtag bunch.
Well, they won 13 before we got to January.
Exactly. You're saying they're only going to win 16? I really like this squad. I think 58th I think you got to slice that in half for this group. They're going to be great from the perimeter. Tay Davis is extremely underrated defensively. Darian Reed, if he was on any other team, we'd be talking about him like he's some massive breakout candidate. Blake, you've been talking about him a good amount. Jaden Jones and Nwankwo and Forsyth are all like 40% shooters off the bench. maybe a little bit of lack of front court depth, but I mean, there are not 60 teams better than Oklahoma. Give me a break. Give me over.
I think you're a little high on Oklahoma.
I'm very high on Oklahoma.
But if I'm looking at their schedule, yes, it's at the Zags. Nebraska's a neutral court game. Marquette, and that's a semi-away. Wake Forest on the road, semi-away against Arizona State. Oklahoma State's a neutral court game. These are all teams that are jumbled together minus the Zags. So, like, again, do you have the same bounces go your way like it did last year? I don't know about that. Maybe you lose a few more of these games than you did last year. If you get to their SEC schedule, they only play Florida once. They only play Kentucky once. They only play Arkansas once. They only play Alabama once. Are you kidding me? They only play Auburn once too? Wow.
Sets up nice for the Sooners.
They only play Vanderbilt once? I'm going over too, but I'm not as high on them as you are, clearly.
It's not smash over?
No, it's not a smash over. No, it's not. So, yeah, I'll go over, though.
Sooners, baby.
All right. And now...
We don't even have to do the wheel.
We do have to do the wheel. Come on. The people want it.
Okay.
Come on. The people want to see it. It's spinning. Who's it going to be? Oh. It's Georgia.
All right.
The wheel performs once again on the grandest stage of them all. Georgia, Max. 44 in KenPom, 18-12, 8-10. Their non-conference includes Georgia Tech at home, Xavier on a neutral court, at Florida State, Cincinnati. Where is that game at? Cincinnati is in Atlanta. And, yeah, their SEC schedule includes 2 games against Florida. They play Kentucky once, Tennessee once, Arkansas once. They do play... Okay. Yeah. All right. There you go. Georgia, 18.
Only lost one non-conference game last year. That was that Marquette game. Entered SEC play 12-1 and finished with 20 wins. Won the last 4 games of the year. Ended hot. So KenPom projecting a little step back from 20 wins in the regular season to 18. They do have the opportunity to enter SEC play 12-1 again if you're able to win those like 50 to 100 ranked games. Georgia Tech, Xavier, and Florida State. You do have a tough one against a really good Cincy squad. If you haven't gotten a look at some of their freshmen and the height that Cincy has, Wes Miller's going to have a better squad this year than last year. So I think, Blake, that the path to 1 or 2 loss non-conference is there. It's just, are they going to be able to match that 8-10 SEC record they did last year? I would like to do a push on this one, but I already used my push.
You can use a push on this one.
I feel like 18 is pretty accurate. Are you going to convince me one way or the other? Because I'm not really feeling confident over or under 18.
So they will have one added game to their schedule. It will be against either Clemson or West Virginia in the Charleston Classic. Game 1's against Xavier.
Winnable.
I'm going under.
Okay.
Slightly. I think it's about right for the range.
Mm-hmm.
I think 17 is probably as low as I would go. But I don't know, man. Again, I think you're banking on a lot. That team, I just think we cannot forget that team last year included Silas Demery, Asa Newell, Tyron Lawrence, Dakota LeFew, RJ Godfrey, all those guys.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a bad team, but it's just it's a little bit different this year, I think, in terms of the roster. And we already talked about the shooting. And I think I completely differ with the analytics on their shooting. And I'm not just going by the exhibition or scrimmage we got, the 4 of 29 or whatever it was. I worry about their sustainable scoring ability.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go slightly under, but I think, look, Mike White has done a great job at Georgia. Fantastic job. Remember, that program was done for when he took over in 2022 or whatever. And they've won 20 games back-to-back seasons now, as you said. So I think they could even go under this number or push and still be an NCAA tournament team in that scenario. Maybe a bubble team, but I think this number's about right. But I won't use another push. I'll go tiny bit under.
As I look into this non-conference, Blake, it's like Georgia Tech.
Very winnable. I mean, listen, they could be unbeaten.
I was just gonna say, like, if you look through it, they don't play. The only road game they play is at Florida State. Florida State's preseason projection is 96th. I mean, that's going to be very winnable. Really, the only game is just get through that Cincinnati game, and you could be playing Auburn on January 3rd undefeated. The path is there.
So there you go. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not
push for me.
I mean, look, I have to. That's the thing. Like, who did I ultimately pick under on? I think I picked under on Georgia. Like one or two other teams, maybe. LSU, A&M. I didn't pick a lot of unders. So,
maybe South Carolina.
Yeah.
Kentucky's Kentucky has the highest projected regular season record at 24 wins. They're higher than Tennessee at 21, Florida at 23, Missouri and A&M at 20.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's get to some of your comments here on the way out. And Andrew said earlier, I wanted to make sure we mark this. Y'all are brave for even attempting this and putting it on tape. So unpredictable. That's the thing, right? Come on, folks.
Who knows, man?
Yes, you could absolutely come March. If you want to go back and say, look how wrong you were, of course you could do that. Absolutely 100%. Because there are going to be injuries, as we said earlier. There are going to be things that we are going off of completely blind numbers here. And trying to project how a 30-game season is going to go over the span of 4 months. Like, there's no chance we're going to get, even probably half of these right. So, but we figured it'd be a fun exercise because it does kind of give you an idea of if you're like, well, we're going to win the SEC. Well, dude, you got to look at your schedule to see if you can win the SEC because a lot of that's going to, factor into it. And like we said, remember the NCAA tournament resumes are going to be built in the non-conference for a lot of teams. And so those non-conference schedules matter a lot. Don't let anyone tell you they don't. They do. They matter a ton. So, so it's a fun exercise. Again, it's very entertaining to go through these, but they mean absolutely nothing. All right. Alan had this one.
You know what's going to happen, Blake? I'm going to tell everybody Oklahoma smash over, and they play Gonzaga and Nebraska within their first 4 games, and they're going to lose both of those, and then I'm going to be scrambling after 2 weeks.
Yep.
Get ready for that.
Get ready. Alan said, Blake, if you and Max are betting real money, how confident are you guys on these predictions? 0.
Not very.
I would not bet money. I would not bet money on these predictions.
I do feel confident in Florida, though.
I was going to say I feel pretty confident in Florida too. That's probably my top one, but I don't have any confidence on many of these others, to be honest with you. Alabama too, I would also feel pretty confident on. Going over. All right, shout out to Pooh Bear. No, I appreciate the updates on the NBA situation. I've not pulled up Twitter. Once we get off the stream, I'm going to go through and it's not funny, but like we literally talked about NBA for longer than we ever have on the history of this channel yesterday in our mailbag. And we talked about how much we did not watch the NBA. And we were bringing up the Jordan era and Bird and all this other stuff. And then the next day, the NBA is in shambles. So rock, paper, scissors coming soon for members here at the channel. Holly asked, Blake and Max, who are your under-the-radar sleeper teams outside the SEC? Well, come on. We know who I'm going to start with. I'm going to go two ACC teams, NC State and Virginia.
All right.
How about that?
We've talked a bunch about NC State this offseason, and Darian Williams and Will Wade and the energy around that squad, haven't mentioned Virginia too much.
Well, we did get some insight from Virginia when they played the game against Vanderbilt. Game, loosely, whatever setup they had in those. But I think it's the Ryan Odom effect for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think this guy is just, he's a winner. The guy just wins. And so I think he's going to do a great job there at Virginia. So, listen, we said it. That's why when we talk about these over-under win totals and all this in the SEC, how many teams they're going to get in, the ACC is going to be a lot better this year. I feel it. And so this challenge is not going to be 14-2 this year. I'd be stunned if that's the case. It's just, you're going to have some really improved ACC teams, I think, at the top. And, I think that's going to make for a lot more competitive games, and the ACC probably grabs a few more from the SEC this year. I'd put those two ACC teams at the top of, and how under the radar is NC State? I don't know if they're under the radar, but I think they got a chance to be really good, and same with Virginia.
I'll give you two Big Ten. Allen's over my one that I've been answering this question all offseason with Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Love Bet McCollum. Yep. Think he's a top, whatever you want to rank coach, he's up there at the top. I think Bennett Sturts in March, guards win games. He is an NBA guard, plays slow. Just ask Missouri fans. So annoying to play against. They added Housen from Kansas State, sniper. So I really like Iowa. Kentucky fans, you guys wanted Fulgaris in the offseason. McCollum got him. He's going to do some fun offensive stuff with that group. And then a little bit more under the radar, but I don't think they should be, is Washington. They've got one of the best freshmen, one of the best international freshmen in the country, and Hannes Steinbeck from Germany. He is a double-double machine, absolute double-double machine. He's 6'10". He's going to be playing games at the 4 with Agnieszewicz from Lipscomb last year, one of the best mid-major bigs in the country last year. You add in some really good shooters. We were covering the Desmond Claude sweepstakes for weeks this summer. I'll go Washington and Iowa, two kind of under the radar Big Ten teams there for you.
Yeah. All right. Sean's got Maryland. We had our thoughts on Maryland. I think it's going to be a long season for Buzzball. It's just my opinion, but we'll see. He's a winner too. I can't deny the results.
Bully ball.
I don't think BYU's underrated, Allen. I think they're right where they should be. I think they're a top 10 team.
Are they preseason top 10? Probably.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to the polls, but I think they're a top 10 team. So Landon, Max, a straight up non-believer in Mississippi State this year. You say that, Landon.
Wrong.
Let's be honest. When that NCAA tournament bracket comes out, Max going to have Mississippi State in at least the Elite Eight. At least. Come on. We know how it goes. So
I will be very happy to be wrong. You know how much I have loved Mississippi State basketball the past few years.
Yeah. All right. There you go, guys. This show went longer than we thought, but what's new?
We're back.
This was a lot of fun. This really was, though. I think scheduling, as we said, is so important, and we've been so confused by the schedules. We're like, oh yeah, who's playing here? But now this gives us a better idea to kind of look at it. So there you go. All right, check out everything else on the channel. We'll probably do 2 more. Yeah, get yourself a hat. You want to go buy the merch? Let's get the link to that. Why don't we? That'd be a great idea. I think we put the link in there for you guys.
Oh wow.
In the chat, there you go. se16.printify.me. And yes, we will, again, have multiple shows next week. If you haven't checked out the members mailbag, remember you can join the membership tier. We're going to have some thoughts. And who knows, tomorrow we got quite a slate of exhibition games.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a member, who knows what Max and I are doing this weekend. If we find a few minutes somewhere, we may say, you know what, I'd really like to talk about this. But if we do, it will be for our members. So keep that in mind if you want to join the membership. If Max and I decide to give some quick thoughts on any of these exhibition games, that will be a members thing. So keep that in mind there. All right. We appreciate you guys. Mario and Luigi out. And we will, again, Max, do you have
Nick
thoughts?
asked real quick, when is the ACC SEC matchup? It's December 2nd, and you can get in on that action at FanDuel there, Nick. Get some good ACC SEC, maybe a little parlay going, maybe a little 10 to win rent. Come on now.
Yeah, check it out. And there's already lots of bets you can get in on if you want your futures and all that stuff. It's over there. And by the way, the football guys are doing a membership stream right now. So if you want to go check out the preview for the weekend in SEC football, head over there as well. So, all right. Appreciate you guys as always. Check out all of our sponsors. Thanks to our friends at FanDuel. Thanks to you guys. And we'll talk to you soon here at Southeastern 16.